Welcome to Prime Space, a Prime Coaching Academy podcast with your host, Elias Scultori. I want to start today with a question. Let me paint a scenario here for you. Let's say that a manager in an organization is having a conversation with their direct report and talking about a specific project. And in the middle of this conversation, the leader decides to, instead of telling the direct report what to do, instead of giving an answer or giving a specific direction, that leader decides to ask a question instead. Is that coaching? Let me give you another scenario. Let's say that a couple is having a conversation, and one of them is a professionally trained coach. Right in the middle of that conversation, that person decides to ask a question and asks actually several questions. Is that person coaching in that particular moment? What about a consultant or a psychotherapist or a mentor? In the middle of their intervention with their clients, they decide to ask a question. Are they coaching? Well, let's think about these questions. Coaching is a formalized profession with a clear set of ethical and professional standards. So coaching, one of the foundational points of coaching is that we set agreements. We set overarching agreements, which means all parties involved understand that this moment or what we are going to get into is coaching. Right? So there is an agreement of all parties that we are going to be coaching. And we set agreements, the overarching agreements. We set agreements for every single session, every single conversation, right? Coaching has a particular framework of the coaching conversation. In every coaching conversation, coaches establish a focus for the conversation. The coaches support the client into clarifying what they are looking for, what they want to focus during the conversation, and what is the expected outcome for that conversation. Coaches support the client into this discovery process, into this examination of what the particular elements involved are, so that there is a broadening of vision and perspective. And then coaches also support the client into the application of these insights and how the client is going to move forward. There is a very clear framework of the coaching conversation. Coaching also, we say that coaching is an equal partnership. As a coach, I can't have an investment on the specific outcome of the coaching conversation, because if I do, then I'm going to be guiding or pushing the client towards one specific outcome that is of my interest. Right? So in coaching, we have equal partnership so that the client has complete freedom to go in the direction that is best for them. Another great aspect of coaching is the coaching mindset, where the spotlight is on the client, in the expertise of the client, and who the client is, and not necessarily in my expertise. Coaching is this intentional process. And for coaching to happen, we have to be operating in this whole environment that I described to you. Yeah, sometimes more things are more and less, or depending on the situation, because we are there working with the client, but we are committed to all of this whole process. So I say this because I believe it's important for all of us to be very aware of this distinction. On one side, I think it's important for all the other professionals, the leader in the organization, the consultant, the psychotherapist, the mentor, the teacher, the facilitator. I think it's important for all of these other professionals to be aware of the robust process of coaching. That coaching is a lot more than simply asking a clarifying question, an exploratory question. There are specific standards for the profession, and there are specific processes and frameworks that we have created for the coaching profession, for coaching to be this robust process that we have today. It's important for the leader to understand that in that moment that the leader asks a question, it can't be coaching because that leader has an investment in the outcome of that conversation. It's important for the mentor to understand that just because they have a question, it's not necessarily coaching, because the role here is passing experience. Or the consultant, the role here is to solve a problem and fix that particular situation. The role of the psychotherapist is to support this person in healing, which is not what coaching is about. So there is a distinction here, and that requires all of us professionals to get training and specialize in the framework so that we go beyond these different kinds of conversations, or perhaps even a haphazard conversation that a couple is having and having a question, and this intentional process that is the coaching the coaching mindset and the coaching proposition. But this distinction between coaching and the coach approach is not just for the other professions. I think it's important for us coaches to also be mindful of this distinction. How are our conversations with our clients going these days? Are we really supporting the client to establish a clear session agreement? Are we being able to, or being mindful of supporting the client into the application of their insights, their movement forward, their actions? Or are we picking and choosing certain skills that we learned in coach training and not committed to the full process of coaching? Because it may be that we may have been having these conversations with the client and we are actually using the coach approach, but not necessarily fully coaching. We may be asking beautiful questions, but we are not giving the client the benefit of experiencing the full body of a coaching process. So it's time for all of us as coaches also to pay attention. Are we getting sloppy and letting go of certain things and not paying attention to certain skills? Or are we committed to being the best coach that we can be? Are we committed to offering the best services and the best processes for our clients so that they can truly go through this transformative process, this reflective process of coaching? It's something for us to keep in mind as well. So there is a distinction. There is a distinction between coaching and having the coach approach. And I hope that this is an invitation for all of us to keep in mind, where are we in this moment? Right? There is nothing wrong with asking a question. There is nothing wrong with pausing and listening a little deeper. These are skills that we learn in coaching, in coach training. There is nothing wrong with asking, what is the objective of this conversation? But if we are not committed to the whole framework, if we are not in complete agreement with the other individual that we are going to go through a coaching process, if the nature of the conversation does not have this mindset of putting the other in the spotlight, of the equal partnership, right, of the standards that we have as a profession, it may not be coaching, right? It may not be the full embodiment of what we are committed as as professionals. And it may be very beneficial and supportive, right? All of these skills are wonderful, but it will be simply utilizing the coach approach in that conversation. Okay, I'm wondering what you think about this distinction. Send me an email. Let me know, or connect with me on LinkedIn. Let me know what your thoughts are around this, and we can continue the conversation. Don't forget to subscribe and share these episodes with others that you might benefit from this conversation here. I want to remind everyone that we do have open registration for our fall cohort at Prime Coaching Academy. So if you are considering your coaching education, we would love for you to consider us as your provider. Okay? Let me know if you have any questions on that as well. Otherwise, everyone, I'll see you next time.